Imagine that each morning is a canvas on which you paint a picture of your future life. How you start your day can be the deciding factor in whether you reach a ripe old age, full of strength and energy. Surprisingly, many people unknowingly make mistakes that undermine their chances of longevity, barely having woken up. There are 7 morning habits that unite people who have crossed the 90-year mark. One of these habits takes only 30 seconds but can add years to your life. This is knowledge that often escapes the attention of doctors, but its effectiveness has been confirmed by numerous studies. Take Walter, for example. At 65, he witnessed his friends begin to face serious health problems such as heart disease, cognitive decline, and reduced mobility. Today, Walter is 93 years old, and he leads an active lifestyle, living independently, driving, and even volunteering 3 times a week in a local garden. Walter's secret is not in genetics, as most of his relatives did not live to be 75. The turning point came when, at the age of 65, he attended a health seminar where he learned about 7 specific morning habits and incorporated them into his life. These seemingly insignificant changes dramatically affected his health. While his peers withered, Walter continued to thrive. When asked about the turning point, he unhesitatingly named his morning ritual. "It was how I started my day that saved me," he shared. And today, Walter's secrets will be revealed. Are you ready to learn about the morning practices that can transform your well-being after 60? The first step to longevity is immediate rehydration. Have you thought about the processes taking place in your body right now? If you haven't had any water yet, your blood is thickening, creating a dangerous burden on your heart and brain. The first thing long-lived people do after waking up is not check their phone or turn on the TV, but drink water. And timing is key here. Leading nephrologists and longevity experts from Harvard Medical School have found that nighttime dehydration accelerates aging processes by as much as 31%. Dr. Jessica Rothman, head of kidney health at Harvard, explains, "During nighttime rest, the body gradually loses moisture, leading to so-called morning blood thickening. This forces the heart to work harder and damages small vessels in the brain and kidneys. Such damage, accumulating over time, significantly accelerates aging." The story of Sylvia, a 72-year-old woman who faced serious kidney problems, persistent fatigue, and alarming memory lapses, is particularly striking. Doctors were seriously considering the need for dialysis. However, when Sylvia began practicing drinking 16 ounces, 450 milliliters of water immediately after waking up, before even getting out of bed, her kidney function improved by an impressive 28% in just 2 months. "My doctor was amazed by the changes in my blood tests," Sylvia shared. "He asked what medications I was taking, and I replied that the only thing I was doing was drinking water first thing in the morning." And that's the essence of this simple but effective practice. Starting tomorrow morning, it is recommended to put a full glass of water next to your bed before going to sleep. As soon as your eyes open, even before your feet touch the floor, you need to drink all the water. Not coffee, not tea, but water. Room temperature water is preferable, as cold water can cause stress to the body. Make this as integral a part of your morning ritual as brushing your teeth. After several hours of sleep, the organs are in dire need of hydration. Don't make them wait a minute longer. The question arises, are you ready to commit to this simple habit, which can have a significant positive impact on kidney function and cardiovascular health? Among long-lived people around the world, this is not considered optional, but a necessity. Perhaps someone is already practicing this. If not, when do you plan to start? Tomorrow morning can be the starting point for positive changes in your body. The second beneficial habit to consider is the impact of natural morning light. Perhaps many people unknowingly harm their circadian rhythms every morning. According to researchers, if you don't get enough natural light within half an hour of waking up, you could be missing out on one of the most powerful factors in longevity. The National Institute on Aging conducted studies that showed that 30 minutes of exposure to morning sunlight increases melatonin production during the day by as much as 73%. Dr. Andrew Peterson, a leading researcher in circadian health and aging, explains that morning sunlight triggers a cascade of hormonal processes. These processes dictate everything from sleep quality to metabolism and even cognitive function throughout the following 24 hours. A lack of this morning light signal is linked to a 37% higher risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases after the age of 70. Consider the story of Benjamin. At 75, he suffered from chronic insomnia that had plagued him for decades. He tried countless remedies, from prescription sleeping pills to expensive supplements, but none provided lasting relief. Then his doctor advised him to make a simple change to his routine. Spend just 10 minutes outside immediately after waking up, regardless of the weather. Within 2 weeks, Benjamin noticed he was falling asleep faster and sleeping longer. But what surprised him most were the unexpected positive side effects. According to Benjamin, his blood pressure dropped by 15 points and his afternoon energy crashes completely disappeared. All this simply from sitting on his porch with his morning coffee instead of staying indoors. Don't delay in adopting this beneficial habit, which has the potential to transform your life. Tomorrow morning, make it a goal to get a dose of natural sunlight within half an hour of waking up. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is dozens of times brighter than artificial indoor light, providing the brain with vital light waves. If mobility is an issue, simply sitting by an open window can provide a positive effect. During the winter months or in inclement weather, you can use a medically designed light therapy lamp as a supplement. However, remember that natural light is always preferable. This isn't just about improving sleep quality, it's about rebooting your biological clock, which can slow down the aging process at the cellular level. Are you ready to give your body such a valuable gift tomorrow morning? What could prevent you from going outside? The human body needs this signal to optimize health. The next important habit is light physical activity before breakfast. How you spend your time before your morning coffee can significantly impact the condition of your joints in the future. Many people make the common mistake of remaining sedentary until breakfast, thereby triggering inflammatory processes that accelerate joint breakdown. Research by rheumatologists at the Mayo Clinic has shown that light morning exercise can reduce joint breakdown by 65% in older adults. Dr. Lisa Monroe, who heads the geriatric medicine department at the renowned Mayo Clinic, emphasizes the importance of morning activity for joint health. Her research revealed that performing light exercise before eating triggers autophagy in the body, a kind of cellular cleanup that plays a key role in maintaining joint longevity. Scientists recorded significant differences in inflammation levels in older adults who practiced fasted movement compared to those who started their day with food. This scientific finding dramatically changed the life of 68-year-old Harriet, who was scheduled for a joint replacement after years of agonizing knee pain caused by arthritis. As a last resort, a physical therapist advised her to perform just 7 minutes of light movement immediately after waking up, before breakfast. Amazingly, within 3 months, Harriet's pain had significantly decreased, and the surgeon canceled the operation. "I thought my active days were behind me," shares Harriet, "and now I can play with my grandchildren again, all thanks to a few minutes of morning exercise." So, here's a simple action plan. Tomorrow morning, after drinking a glass of water, but before eating or having coffee, dedicate just 5 to 10 minutes to light movements aimed at lubricating your joints. This isn't about intense workouts. The key is to make the movements enjoyable. Try small circular motions with your ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, and wrists. Stand up and gently sway from side to side. Try to touch your toes if possible, or simply lean forward slightly. The main thing is continuous, light movement that awakens your joints and muscles. Do you notice how stiff your body feels immediately after waking up? This is an important signal that should not be ignored. This short period of time represents a unique opportunity to activate longevity mechanisms that remain untapped if you remain at rest. Are you ready to dedicate just a few minutes tomorrow to protecting your joints for decades to come? Imagine moving with ease at 85 or 90. Those who achieve this don't just have good genes. They consistently perform this simple morning ritual. Will you join their ranks? The fourth beneficial habit worth noting is the 32 breathing practice, a powerful longevity tool observed in almost everyone who lives past 90. Surprisingly, most of us neglect this simple yet effective technique. Imagine how your morning breathing pattern significantly influences your response to stressful situations throughout the day, potentially adding or subtracting years from your life. Researchers studying the so-called blue zones, regions of the world where people are particularly likely to live to 100, have found that long-lived individuals practice specific breathing patterns that help reduce cellular stress by as much as 48%. Dr. Michael Cohen, dedicated to studying longevity practices in Sardinia, notes significant differences in inflammation markers and stress hormone levels between those who regularly perform mindful morning breathing exercises and those who do not. According to Dr. Cohen, this brief practice activates the vagus nerve, sending a safety signal to the body and switching it into longevity mode rather than survival mode. In the mountain villages of Sardinia, where men often live to 90, there's an interesting morning tradition among the elders. Every morning, before starting any tasks, they step out of their homes and perform a series of deep, rhythmic breaths. Studies measuring their heart rate variability and cortisol levels have revealed patterns characteristic of much younger individuals, suggesting the beneficial impact of this simple breathing practice on overall health and longevity. According to a venerable 96-year-old shepherd, the secret to his vigor lies in his morning breathing exercises, preparing his body for the day ahead. Skipping this important routine, he claims, inevitably affects his well-being. Energy wanes, and mental clarity gives way to fogginess. But there's a simple 30-second practice that can transform your health. Immediately after waking up and drinking your morning water, preferably in natural light, perform the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Begin by silently inhaling through your nose for 4 seconds. Then hold your breath for 7 seconds. Finally, exhale completely through your mouth for 8 seconds, accompanying the exhalation with a slight whistling sound. Repeat this cycle just 3 or 4 times. In just 30 seconds, your body receives a powerful signal to activate longevity mechanisms, countering stress responses. It may seem unbelievable that such a simple practice can be effective, but the scientific evidence speaks for itself. This short breathing exercise has measurable effects on blood pressure, inflammation, and stress hormone levels. Is it worth investing those 30 seconds tomorrow morning? It may well be the most worthwhile investment in your health. Ask yourself, are you breathing deeply now as you read these lines? Most likely, no. Most people breathe shallowly, using only about 30% of their lung capacity. Start changing this established pattern tomorrow morning, and you will feel the difference. Habit number 5, playing a key role in the pursuit of longevity, is a breakfast rich in protein and fiber. Have you ever considered that your morning diet could be an obstacle on the path to reaching that coveted 90-year mark? Unfortunately, for most Americans, a typical breakfast does not promote, but rather accelerates the aging process in the body. And many realize this only when it becomes extremely difficult to change anything. However, gerontology experts studying nutrition and longevity have identified certain patterns in the breakfasts of long-lived individuals. It turns out that certain foods and their combinations can reduce markers of inflammation in the body by more than 50%. Dr. Valerie Richardson, a leading researcher at the Institute for Longevity Nutrition, emphasizes that the first meal of the day sets a kind of metabolic tone for the entire body, influencing a wide range of processes, from insulin sensitivity to levels of microinflammation. Studies show that eating food in the morning containing at least 25 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber creates a favorable metabolic environment, promoting cell repair and preventing cell damage. As an example, consider Gerald's story. At the age of 68, he was diagnosed with prediabetes, and tests revealed elevated markers of inflammation. Interestingly, he wasn't overweight, but his doctor predicted he would develop full-blown diabetes within the next 2 years. Instead of immediately resorting to medication, Gerald decided to change his diet, starting with breakfast, and sought the help of a nutritionist. He ditched his usual toast and coffee in favor of a morning meal rich in protein and fiber. The results were quick to follow. In just 6 months, Gerald's blood tests returned to normal. "All I changed was my breakfast," he emphasized. "My doctor was amazed that you could reverse negative trends just by adjusting one meal." The secret to the perfect breakfast for a long and healthy life has been revealed. Experts recommend starting the day with a combination of high-quality protein, such as eggs or Greek yogurt, with fiber-rich foods like berries, chia seeds, or oats. Don't forget to add healthy fats from avocados, nuts, or olive oil. The key is to avoid refined carbohydrates before 10 a.m., as they trigger rapid insulin spikes that accelerate the aging process. You can start applying this formula tomorrow morning, as it doesn't require extra time, just a slight adjustment to your usual diet. Is it worth risking your long-term health by continuing to eat an unhealthy breakfast? Switching to a proper diet will unlock new levels of well-being in just a few days. The choice of what to eat for breakfast tomorrow is an investment in the future, the effect of which will only increase over the years. Another important element of longevity is morning social connection, a ritual that surpasses even the most modern supplements in its effectiveness. Maintaining meaningful human relationships plays a huge role in maintaining health. Scientists have proven that isolation has a negative impact on the body, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Moreover, the timing of the contact is almost as important as the act of communication itself. A large-scale 80-year study conducted by Harvard University found that morning social connections have a more significant impact on life expectancy than quitting smoking or regular physical exercise. Dr. Robert Miller, who led the final stage of the large-scale study spanning several generations, emphasizes the importance of social connections early in the day. According to him, data analysis showed that those participants who found opportunities for meaningful communication before 10 a.m. had a 29% lower risk of death from any cause during the entire observation period. Miller suggests that morning contact with other people appears to trigger certain neurochemical processes that have a beneficial effect on the cardiovascular and immune systems throughout the day. Nancy also made an interesting observation in Okinawa, Japan, home to one of the world's largest concentrations of long-lived people. In her research, she noticed a curious habit among the local elderly. Every morning, neighbors gather for a short time to chat, sometimes for just 5 minutes. One 97-year-old woman shared her experience. "If I don't talk to someone in the morning, my whole day goes wrong. We check on each other's health every morning. That's how we've lived so long." Researchers decided to test this hypothesis by measuring her inflammation levels and comparing them to those of elderly people living in social isolation. The results were striking. The difference in inflammation markers was so great that it could be said that the 97-year-old woman was biologically decades younger than her socially isolated peers. To enrich your life and potentially extend it, consider a few simple but effective ways to implement this starting tomorrow morning. First of all, you can start the day with a short phone call to a friend or family member. Even a 3-minute conversation can have a significant impact on overall well-being. For those who don't live alone, it is recommended to create a meaningful ritual of morning communication to avoid simply exchanging formal greetings. It is important to take time for each other, show interest and attention. If a person lives alone, a great solution would be to organize regular morning meetings with neighbors or friends at least once a week. This will allow you to feel part of a community and fill your day with positive emotions. In cases where none of the above options are suitable, even a simple, friendly conversation with a barista at a coffee shop or a salesperson in a store can activate the same biological benefits as more prolonged communication. A key aspect is making human connection an integral part of your morning routine, just like brushing your teeth. It's important to remember that the human body needs this just as much as it needs vitamins or physical exercise. Who you connect with tomorrow morning isn't as important as ensuring your body receives the necessary signal to activate longevity mechanisms. Another beneficial habit to adopt from people who have surpassed the age of 90 is the directed practice of gratitude. This isn't just vague advice to be thankful for everything, but a specific way of expressing gratitude that stimulates longevity pathways in the brain and body. Neurobiologists at Yale University have found that morning gratitude practices can physically change the structure of the aging brain and reduce cortisol levels by 23%. Dr. Sarah Jenkins, a leading expert in neuroplasticity and its impact on the aging brain, asserts that targeted gratitude practice can tangibly transform the structure and function of the brain in older adults. Research results obtained through functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, demonstrate that older individuals who regularly express gratitude in the morning experience activation of the prefrontal cortex. This area, responsible for making sound decisions and controlling emotional reactions, exhibits activity characteristic of a shock. Much younger brain. It's important to note that the time of day plays a key role in the effectiveness of this practice. The most pronounced positive effect is observed when gratitude exercises are performed within the first hour after waking up. As a prime example, consider the story of Patricia, a 74-year-old woman suffering from hypertension that was unresponsive to traditional treatment. Her cardiologist expressed serious concern about the state of her cardiovascular system. Learning about scientific research on the impact of gratitude on health, Patricia began practicing a simple exercise daily, focusing on gratitude for her body and health. Within 3 months, her blood pressure stabilized, and her heart rate variability, an important indicator of heart and vascular health, improved by 31%. According to Patricia, her doctor was surprised by these changes and inquired about what medications she had started taking. When she explained that the only change in her life was her morning gratitude practice, the doctor was skeptical until he saw a sustained positive trend in her health indicators over time. Patricia discovered that a simple 2-minute gratitude practice could transform her health. Immediately after performing breathing exercises, it is recommended to place your hand on your heart and mentally list 3 specific parts of your body for which you are grateful, explaining the reasons for this gratitude. For example, you can express gratitude to your eyes for allowing you to see the faces of your beloved grandchildren, or to your legs for continuing to reliably carry you where you need to go. The heart, which beats tirelessly for many years, also deserves special gratitude. The key is to be specific and direct the gratitude specifically to your body, rather than just external circumstances. This is not an expression of magical thinking, but creates a tangible shift in the functioning of the nervous system, affecting a wide range of physiological processes, from inflammation levels to the immune response. Is it worth trying this 2-minute practice tomorrow morning? It requires no cost, no special equipment, and may add years to your life. The question arises, have you expressed gratitude to your body today for all that it does for you, or is your attention focused on its shortcomings? It's important to remember that your point of view has a direct impact on the physiological state of your body. Everyone over the age of 60 has access to 7 morning rituals that can transform their health and open the door to the ranks of energetic centenarians who are over 90 years old. Perfection is not required. Even partial implementation of these habits can noticeably correct the trajectory of health for the better. Let's remember Walter, whose journey began with just 2 useful actions, to which the rest were gradually added. The main thing is not to put it off until later, because the perfect moment may never come. The morning hours are a time when the body receives a program for either withering or maintaining youth. What choice will be made? The habits under consideration are not just pleasant additions to life, but a vital necessity for those who seek not only to live to a ripe old age, but also to maintain vigor, clarity of mind, and purposefulness. Which of these 7 morning habits will you adopt starting tomorrow? Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now.